Hey Cancer, I just pulled cards for you, and what I'm seeing here is absolutely wild. I need you to really sit with this because the energy coming through is talking about how people perceive you, and honestly, it's way more intense than you probably realize. So I'm sitting here with your spread, and I have to tell you, the cards are showing me this really fascinating dynamic where people are simultaneously drawn to you and kind of intimidated by you. And I know that might sound contradictory, but just stay with me because this reading is going to explain exactly what's happening in the energy around you right now. Before I get into the specific cards, I want you to understand something. Cancer, you carry this energy that people can't quite figure out. You know how you're always protecting yourself, always careful about who you let in? Well, while you're doing that, people on the outside are watching you and they're having all these thoughts and feelings about you that you might not even be aware of. And what the cards are showing me today is that these thoughts are way more powerful and way more complex than you might think. All right, so let me pull the first card and see what's really going on here. The first card I'm getting is the Queen of Cups, and I need you to understand what this means in terms of how people see you. The Queen of Cups is emotional mastery. This is someone who feels everything deeply, but has learned how to navigate those waters without drowning. And Cancer, this is exactly how people perceive you. They see you as someone who has this incredible emotional intelligence. You understand things that other people don't even notice. You pick up on vibes, on energy shifts, on the unspoken things happening in a room. And people recognize this about you even if they don't say it out loud. But here's what's really interesting about the Queen of Cups in this position. People think you can see right through them. They believe that you know their secrets, their fears, their hidden motivations. And you know what? They're probably right. You do pick up on things. But what they don't realize is that you're not judging them for it. You're actually incredibly compassionate. But because you see so much, because you understand human nature on such a deep level, people feel vulnerable around you. They feel exposed. And that makes them respect you, but it also makes them a little bit afraid of you. I'm also seeing with this Queen of Cups energy that people think you're impossible to manipulate. You've been through enough in your life that you've developed these really strong instincts. You can sense when something is off. You can feel when someone is being dishonest or when they have ulterior motives. And people know this about you. They know they can't play games with you. They know they can't feed you lies or try to use you because you'll see right through it. And for people who are used to being able to manipulate others or hide their true intentions, your presence is really unsettling. But there's another layer to this. The Queen of Cups also represents someone who people come to for emotional support and guidance. So while some people are intimidated by you, others are absolutely in awe of your wisdom and your ability to hold space for their feelings. They look up to you. They see you as this anchor of emotional stability. They think you have all the answers when it comes to matters of the heart and relationships and navigating difficult emotional situations. You're like this lighthouse for people who are lost in their own emotional storms. And I have to tell you, Cancer, this is a lot of pressure to carry. People projecting all of this onto you. Some people fearing you, other people idealizing you, everyone having these intense perceptions of who you are and what you're capable of. No wonder you need so much alone time to recharge. Let me pull the next card because I want to see what else is coming through about how people view you. Okay, so the second card is the Ace of Wands, and this is telling me that people see you as someone who has this incredible potential for creation and transformation. The Ace of Wands is pure creative fire. It's inspiration. It's passion. It's the spark that starts something new. And people look at you and they see this potential just radiating from you. They see that you're capable of manifesting things, of bringing ideas into reality, of creating change. Now here's where it gets really interesting. People don't just think you're creative or passionate. They think you're a catalyst. They believe that you have the power to set things in motion, to start chain reactions, to be the spark that ignites transformation in other people's lives. And this is where that dangerous element comes in that I mentioned at the beginning. Cancer, people perceive you as someone who can change everything. And change is scary for a lot of people. Even positive change. Even necessary change. There are people in your life who look at you, and they recognize that you have this ability to come into a situation and completely shift the energy. You can walk into a room and suddenly people start questioning things they never questioned before. You can have a conversation with someone and plant a seed that grows into this huge realization that transforms their entire perspective. And some people find that amazing. They're inspired by you. They want to be around you because your energy motivates them to grow and evolve. They see you as this incredible force for positive change, and they're grateful to have you in their lives. But other people? Other people are threatened by this. Because if you have the power to inspire growth and transformation, that means you also have the power to expose what's not working. You shine a light on dysfunction. Your presence makes it impossible for people to stay comfortable in situations that aren't serving them. And for people who are invested in maintaining the status quo, who are comfortable with their illusions and their denial, you're terrifying. The Ace of Wands is also about taking action and initiative. And people see you as someone who doesn't just sit around waiting for things to happen. You make things happen. You take the first step. You have the courage to begin even when the outcome is uncertain. And this inspires some people and intimidates others. People who are stuck in their own fear and indecision look at you and they feel both motivated and insecure. Motivated because you show them what's possible when you just go for it. Insecure because it highlights their own inability to take action. I'm also picking up that people think you have this really strong sense of purpose. Like you know what you're here to do. You know what matters to you. And even if you're still figuring out the specifics, people can sense that you have this internal compass guiding you. And that's something that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people are just drifting through life without any real sense of direction or meaning. So when they encounter someone like you who has that fire, that sense of mission, it's both impressive and kind of confronting. Let me pull the third card because I want to understand more about this dynamic of people looking up to you and fearing you at the same time. The third card is the King of Wands, and okay, this is making so much sense now. The King of Wands is a leadership card. This is someone who takes charge, who has vision, who knows how to inspire and direct others. And Cancer, people see you as a natural leader even if you don't see yourself that way. They perceive you as someone who has authority and power and influence. Now I know what you might be thinking. Cancer is typically associated with being nurturing and sensitive, and maybe not so much with being this bold leader figure. But here's the thing. True leadership isn't about being loud or aggressive or dominating. True leadership is about having a vision and the courage to pursue it. It's about inspiring others through your example. It's about being authentic and staying true to your values even when it's difficult. And you have all of those qualities. People look at you and they see someone who leads from the heart. You're not trying to control people or force them to follow you, but your authenticity and your passion naturally draw people in. They want to know what you think. They value your opinion. They look to you for guidance and direction. And some people really appreciate this about you. They're happy to have someone they can look up to, someone who seems to know where they're going even when everything else feels uncertain. But here's where the fear comes in. The King of Wands is powerful. This is someone who gets things done. This is someone who doesn't let obstacles stop them. And when people see that level of personal power in you, it can be threatening. Because powerful people expose weakness in others. Not intentionally, but just by contrast. When you're standing in your power, living authentically, pursuing your goals with passion and determination, it highlights where other people are playing small or living inauthentically, or letting fear hold them back. And some people don't want to be confronted with that. Some people would rather stay in their comfort zone, and they don't appreciate having someone around who reminds them that they're capable of more. So they try to diminish you. They try to make you feel like you're too much or too intense or too ambitious. They might gossip about you or try to undermine you or question your motives. And all of that is really just coming from their own insecurity and fear. The King of Wands also represents someone who is very direct and honest. You say what needs to be said. You don't sugarcoat things or play political games. And while some people really value that honesty and find it refreshing, other people find it intimidating. They're not used to dealing with someone who is so straightforward. They're used to people who hide behind politeness or avoid difficult conversations. So when you show up and just speak the truth, it can be unsettling for them. I'm also seeing that people perceive you as someone who is very confident and self-assured. Now, you might not always feel that way internally, but externally, this is what people see. They see someone who knows their worth, who isn't desperate for approval, who is comfortable being themselves, even if that means standing out or being different. And that confidence is magnetic, but it's also intimidating to people who struggle with their own self-worth. Let me get the fourth card because I want to understand more about this perception that you're dangerous. Okay, the fourth card is the Lovers, and this is really fascinating. The Lovers card is about choices, about alignment, about relationships and connections. And in this context, it's telling me that people perceive you as someone who forces them to make choices. Your presence in someone's life creates this moment of decision. They have to choose whether they're going to be authentic or keep wearing their mask. They have to choose whether they're going to grow or stay stagnant. They have to choose whether they're going to be honest about their feelings or keep hiding. And this is why people find you dangerous. Because you don't let people stay comfortable in their illusions. You don't enable dysfunction. You don't pretend everything is fine when it's not. Just by being yourself, by living authentically, by having standards and boundaries, you create this energy that forces people to confront their own choices and their own truth. And that's really uncomfortable for a lot of people. The Lovers is also about deep connections and intimacy. And people sense that if they get close to you, it's going to be real. It's not going to be superficial. It's not going to be casual. You don't do surface-level relationships. You want depth and meaning and authenticity. And for people who are used to keeping things shallow, who are afraid of real intimacy, who prefer to maintain distance and avoid vulnerability, the prospect of getting close to you is scary. But here's what's beautiful about the Lovers in this reading. The people who do choose to connect with you deeply, who do choose to be authentic and vulnerable, who do choose growth over comfort, those people experience something really special. They experience the kind of connection that transforms them, the kind of friendship or relationship that makes them a better person, the kind of bond that teaches them what real love and acceptance feels like. So yes, you're dangerous in the sense that you disrupt people's comfortable illusions. You challenge them to be better. You don't let them hide from themselves. But you're also amazing because you offer the possibility of real connection and real growth and real transformation. And the people who are ready for that, who are brave enough to choose it, they're the ones who end up looking up to you with genuine admiration and gratitude. I'm also picking up with the Lovers that people think you can see their true selves. Not just the persona they present to the world, but who they really are underneath. And that's both appealing and terrifying. Appealing because everyone wants to be truly seen and accepted. Terrifying because most people are afraid that if someone really sees them, they'll be rejected or judged. Let me pull the fifth card because I want to understand more about this karma aspect that's coming through. The fifth card is the Emperor, and wow, this is powerful. The Emperor is about structure, authority, and consequences. And in terms of how people perceive you, this is telling me that people see you as someone who has strong boundaries and who holds people accountable. You don't let people treat you badly. You don't tolerate disrespect or dishonesty. You have standards and you maintain them. And here's where the karma piece comes in. People perceive you as someone who represents consequences. When people do something wrong, when they're dishonest or manipulative or hurtful, they know that with you there will be consequences. Not because you're vengeful or mean, but because you have integrity and you don't compromise on your values. You're like a mirror that reflects back to people exactly what they're putting out into the world. If someone treats you well, if they're honest and respectful and kind, they get to experience the best of you. They get your loyalty and your support and your warmth. But if someone betrays you or tries to manipulate you or disrespects you, you're not going to just let it slide. You're going to set a boundary. You're going to call it out. You're going to remove yourself from that situation. And for people who are used to getting away with bad behavior, who are used to people tolerating their dysfunction, your presence is a wake-up call. People see you as a catalyst for karma because being around you forces people to face the consequences of their actions. They can't hide from their own behavior. They can't pretend they didn't do what they did. Your clarity and your boundaries make it impossible for them to avoid accountability. And that's really uncomfortable for people who don't want to take responsibility for their impact on others. The Emperor also represents someone who has their life together, who is organized and disciplined and responsible. And people look at you and they see someone who has worked on themselves, who has done the inner work, who has created stability and structure in their life. And that's admirable, but it's also intimidating to people who haven't done that work. It highlights their own lack of discipline, or their own chaos, or their own avoidance of responsibility. I'm also seeing that people perceive you as someone who is very protective of what's important to you. You protect your energy, your peace, your loved ones, your values. And you're not apologetic about it. You don't let people guilt you into lowering your boundaries or compromising on what matters to you. And while some people respect this about you, other people find it frustrating because they can't get you to do what they want. They can't manipulate you into putting their needs above your own well-being. Let me pull the final card because I want to see what the ultimate message is here about how you should understand and work with these perceptions. The sixth and final card is the Magician, and this is perfect. The Magician is about personal power, about manifestation, about having all the tools you need to create your reality. And this card is confirming everything we've been talking about. People see you as someone who has real power. Not power over others, but power to create and transform and manifest. You have the ability to take your vision and make it real. You have the skills and the resources and the determination to build the life you want. And this is why people are in awe of you. Because most people don't believe they have that kind of power. Most people feel like victims of circumstance, like they're at the mercy of external forces, like they can't really change their situation. But you know differently. You understand that you have agency. You understand that you can make choices that shape your future. You understand that you have the power to transform your life. The Magician is also about alchemy, taking ordinary materials and turning them into something extraordinary. And people see you as someone who has this ability. You can take difficult experiences and turn them into wisdom. You can take pain and turn it into compassion. You can take challenges and turn them into opportunities for growth. And this is incredibly inspiring to people who are going through hard times. They look at you and think if they can do it, maybe I can too. But the Magician also represents someone who knows things, who has knowledge and skills that others don't have. And in this context, it's telling me that people believe you have some kind of special insight or wisdom or ability that gives you an advantage. They think you know something they don't know. They think you can do things they can't do. And depending on the person, this either makes them want to learn from you or makes them want to compete with you or diminish you. The Magician is ultimately about using your power wisely and intentionally. And the message here for you, Cancer, is that you need to own your power. Stop playing small to make other people comfortable. Stop dimming your light because some people are intimidated by it. Stop apologizing for being authentic and powerful and transformative. The right people will be inspired by you. The right people will appreciate your strength and your wisdom and your integrity. The right people will choose growth over comfort and will be grateful to have you in their lives as a catalyst for their evolution. And the people who are threatened by you? The people who try to make you feel like you're too much? Let them be uncomfortable. Let them face the consequences of their own choices. Let them deal with the mirror you're holding up to their behavior. That's not your responsibility to manage. Your responsibility is to keep being authentic, keep standing in your power, keep living according to your values, and keep being the catalyst for transformation that you naturally are. So Cancer, this reading is really about understanding that how people perceive you is a reflection of where they are on their own journey. The people who are ready for growth and truth and authenticity will see you as amazing and will look up to you with genuine respect. The people who are stuck in fear and ego and dysfunction will see you as dangerous and will try to undermine you or avoid you. And both of those reactions are valid information about who those people are and where they're at. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable. Your job is not to downplay your power so that insecure people feel better about themselves. Your job is to keep being you, to keep growing, to keep standing in your truth, and to keep being a lighthouse for the people who are ready to find their way home to themselves. The right people will find you. The right people will value you. The right people will choose to rise to the occasion rather than trying to pull you down to their level. And remember, being a catalyst for karma doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It means you're living with integrity in a world where a lot of people have gotten comfortable with compromise and inauthenticity. Keep being that catalyst. Keep being that mirror. Keep being that force for transformation. The world needs more people like you who aren't afraid to be real.